Alright, if you've made it this far, you are wanting to install the software that we're going to use on your personal computer. So, if you've taken Java with me last semester, then you will only need to do the last part of this. Now, we're going to be using Eclipse as our IDE. There are other things available than Eclipse, but Eclipse is installed in 1.18, which is our lab, and any issues that I think people might have had with PyDev inside Eclipse have kind of been worked out at this point. I've tested it, it seems to be working just fine, and I think it's pretty easy to use, and it's a good way if you have both Python and Java to flip back and forth pretty easily. So here's what you'll need to do. So I'm going to start as though you don't have Eclipse or the Java development kit or Python on your computer. So alright, so what we're going to do, no, we're not doing Java, but Eclipse needs a couple of Java related things installed before we can install Python. So I'm going to use the first link. That will take us to the download for the Java development kit from Oracle. So we can go, it'll take you to this page, and what you want is the JDK. So down here it says download. Going to click on that, and then you will need to accept the license agreement and click on the red arrow for your operating system. So I have Windows, so I'm going to click on the arrow for Windows and hit run. This might take a little bit of time, so use the installation wizard, hit next. Check and see if you want to move it to a different installation location. I'm fine with it being in Program Files, Java. On my C drive, hit next. And now it's going to install everything. So this is the one. It might take a little bit of time, but once you get it done, you might have updates, but you shouldn't have to do it again. So enable Java content, fine, hit next. It's also probably a good thing to do at home and not on the school's Wi-Fi if you can avoid it. Let's hit close. Now, just let that sit. The next thing we're going to do is use the second link to install Eclipse. So again, you don't have to use Eclipse if you have something else that you like. You'll just have to figure out how to configure Python for it yourself. So I won't be supporting that in class myself, but I will support Eclipse if you need help with that. Okay, so let's use the second link to go to the download page for the Eclipse IDE. On the right-hand side, you'll see the different operating system choices. So I have Windows 64, so I'm going to pick Windows 64 and hit download and open. Now Eclipse is kind of funny. When you download it, you don't really install anything, you just kind of download the program itself. So what you'll need to do is extract the files and then move them, well, extract them to a location that you're comfortable with. So for example, mine just popped up in downloads, so I'm going to go out one so I can actually see the download. I've already downloaded this once, so let's just delete this so I can start from scratch with you guys. All right, so here's the one you want, Eclipse, Java, the zip file. Again, if you already have Eclipse installed, you don't need to do this. I'm going to right click, and that's fine, should be safe enough. I'm going to say extract all, and then I'm going to move this to a different location. So one that's just not hanging out in my downloads folder, because I might delete it by accident. So I'm going to move this to the C drive, Program Files, and then actually make a new folder. And I'm going to call that folder Eclipse. Enter that folder, and then from here I'm going to say select folder. So it'll put everything very nice and neat in this Eclipse folder. So I'm going to say extract, continue. This might take a little bit of time as well, but it will get done. Okay, so now it's done extracting. I'm going to go into the Eclipse folder, and you see eclipse.exe. So this is the program. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open it by double clicking. So let's go ahead and run. So see, it didn't really install, we just kind of extracted everything. Now, we have different workspaces that we can use. So if you were with me in Java, you may want to create a different workspace. It's totally optional if you want to separate your Java and your Python files. I would recommend doing that. I can show you that in class though. So for this, I'm just going to hit launch. That's fine. This will be where all your source code is stored. So if things didn't work and you're on a Mac and then you get some error that says like you need a certain version of the JDK, like version, I don't know, 8 that's 155 or something, that's totally fine. You'll just have to download that separate JDK from the website. If you don't know how to do that, just tell me in class and I can help you do that. So don't panic. I've debugged a few people's machines on that, so don't panic. All right, so once you get here, in order to check that it's working, you could make a project, but the assumption is if Eclipse let you open it up, the JDK is installed fine. So from here, so this is the point at which if you took Java with me last semester that you want to continue. Okay, so this is what you'll need. Now we're going to hook up Python. Okay, so if we go to the next slide, we're going to use version 3. So that's the latest version, 3.6.4. So I'm going to copy this link and open it up. There's a lot of things to hook up, but once you get it done, you don't have to do it again. So we're going to download Python 3.6.4. Just going to hit run. And I'm going to say add Python 3.6 to path as well, just to make sure everything works properly. And so make sure you click this box. Then I'm going to hit install now. Yep, that's fine. Once that's done, I'm just going to hit close. And now I'm going to go back to the slides. There's one other link here. So here, these are instructions as to how to hook up Python in Eclipse. So specifically PyDev, which will let you use Python in Eclipse. So it kind of goes through some of the steps that we already did. We have an up-to-date version of everything, so we should be okay. So the step that we want to start with is here. So installing with the update site. What we're going to do is go back into Eclipse and go to help and install new software. So the only thing that you need to make sure is that you're connected to the internet for this, which you should be since you're watching the video. Okay, from here, after I type in http://pydev.org/updates, I'm going to hit add, and I'm going to name this Python, and hit OK. From here, it's going to bring up the different things that you can install from here. So what we want is just the first one. So I'm going to check this box that says PyDev and leave everything else the same and then hit next. Now it's going to ask if these are the things that you want to be installed. So I'm going to hit next again. And then it'll have the license agreements. I'm going to say I accept and hit finish. So at this point, it will likely ask you to restart Eclipse. So you may have to restart Eclipse at this point. And I'm going to say install anyway. That's perfectly fine. You'll need to restart Eclipse. Okay, restart now. So we'll wait for it to restart itself. All right, now from here, this is the other thing that if you've been working in Java that you're going to have to do. So as it says on the slide, what you'll need to do is open the PyDev perspective. So you should only have to do this once unless you want to flip back and forth between them. So what we're going to do is go to Window and go to perspective and open perspective. Now PyDev is not here, but that's fine. We can just go to other and see the snakes. We can choose PyDev. Okay, what you'll want to do next is test it. So you'll have to now configure, you'll have to connect Eclipse to the Python installation that you did. So not the PyDev, but actual Python. So what we're going to do, and this is something that you'll do throughout the class, is go to where it says new at the top, pick the arrow, and then go to PyDev project, so the one with the 2 snakes. And then let's call it test. I already have one called test, so I'm going to call mine testing. And then what you'll need to do is down here, you'll have something that says there's no interpreter configured. So if you click on the blue link, it will bring up something that says, you know, do you want to do a manual configuration, quick auto config? You'll want to do the quick auto config. Once you do that, it should come back to this menu and have the correct matched up to Python 3. Now this is again something that if it doesn't work, just let me know and I can look into it. From there, you should be able to just hit finish and you should see your new Python project pop up in the left-hand corner. From here, if we want to test it, we can right click and go to new. This time we're going to go to file. And what we're going to do is give it a name. Let's call it test again. And when we're working with the Python files, we're going to use test.py. So this will associate it with Python. So we always want to end our file names with py. After this, we'll hit finish, and you'll see that the file appears on the left in the navigation. If you want to write some code real quick, this is kind of already getting into it, but quite simply, you can write print, and then in parentheses, in quotes, hello. So your first line of Python code if you haven't done any before. From here, you'll see that if there's a star there, that means that it's not saved. So you can do, you know, Control S, Command S to save it, or go to File, Save, and then you'll see that the star disappears. Now, in order to run it, there is a shortcut on Windows, but if you don't want to do that, just click the green play button and choose Python Run. If you hit OK, you'll see that if there's output, it will appear in the console down below. So again, if you have trouble with it, you can come to me during office hours or catch me, you know, after class, and I can help you get the installation completed. If you get it done by next Thursday, you'll get 5 points extra credit, so the 25th. All right, guys, good luck, and hopefully I'll see you in class sometime soon.